Hi everyone, it's Lori Pinto from Lollipop Paper and lollipoppaperandink.com. I wanted to pop on today to talk about and do some samples of this folder, embossing folder that I've been using like for the last few days that I just can't stop using. It is called the Country Floral. It's one of the SAB items, Country Floral Dynamic Textured, and it is so beautiful, and it has these gorgeous floral images on here, and I've just done it a few different cards a few different ways, so I wanted to share that with you. A lot of it is with daubers, paint daubers, or even embossing from the inside using our blends. So I want to get started, and we'll just see how many I can get done to share with you. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I was a little hesitant, because it is an SAB item, celebration item, so we always run the risk of it being gone after the end of March. But I just saw today that this folder is carrying over into our annual catalog in June, so there's no worries. You can earn it now, $50, spend $50, and you can earn this for free. But you know that you'll get a lot more use out of it after the catalog goes live. The annual catalog goes live. I'm so excited about it in June. So just bear with me. I'm going to just flip the camera, and we'll get started with a few projects. Okay, I think we're back, and it's all good. So let me show you a few of the projects that I have been working on and which technique I used for them. This is the only one, actually. Well, I have a few that are completed card project, but I just love this one. I think this is my favorite. And I just did this one by taking my Smoky Slate ink pad and just literally wiping the inside, the recessed side of it with the ink pad, and just it was pretty dark, and ran my Whisper White card through that, and that's what you came up with. I mean, so simple and so beautiful. So I just popped that on a little mat of Whisper White, and I did some heat embossing for this card here. But I used this was like the darker background, which I wanted to see how dark it would come out. So I used an ink that wasn't terribly dark, but would give that impression. So I really am happy with how that came out. This one I did with Pool Party ink, and before I ran it through, and we're gonna try to do one of these. Like again, on the recessed side of this, I used a sponge brayer, and I just covered it with Pool Party ink. And then when it came out, I used a sponge dauber to just highlight the pieces that I wanted to. And then, not sure if you can see this, but then I used here the Pool Party Blends marker, and I just dropped a tiny little bit of ink on some of these dots. You'll see it better in another one that we did. So that was again with the brayer, the paint sponge brayer, onto the recessed side, and so quick, just a little bit of daubering afterwards, and we're good. This one was just I just sent the Whisper White cardstock through on its own, and then when it came out, I did sponge daubing to just the different areas. And this I used, this is Calypso Coral, Mossy Meadow, and this was Poppy Parade, I believe. So I just wanted to see what the difference was. Well, I did a dark one, and well, first I had done this light one with like pastel colors, but this would be perfect for a baby card or a wedding card or bridal shower. Just very, very soft colors, and it just takes a second to use your dauber and get some color on there, and it just makes it pop. So we'll try to do one of these. And then this one I did with the not the recessed side, the side that you can actually feel the embossing on the outside. And I did the same thing. I just used a brayer because I wasn't sure how much was going to come through. and used a brayer to cover the whole sheet, and that's what I came up with. Afterwards, I put a little bit of my sponge dauber in the Calypso coral on just a few of them, just to highlight it. And this is the back side of it, because you can see there it's like inverted, the design, as opposed to the roses sticking out. So I thought this was interesting too. So I'd like to try that. And then this one was a little different. I was just getting carried away trying to do more and more. And this one, all I did was I used a dauber, a sponge dauber, for just the inside, the recessed of just the large roses on that. And I really liked the way that came out. I didn't do anything different to that once it came out, the rose images. So I was very happy with seeing what that little technique would do. And then again, I took my blends markers and just dropped, because you can see it kind of spread, so it really was a nice little effect. And I just did the some of the lines, some of the little dots going out that way. So okay, so let's get started. Those are the ones. These are some other finished products that I did, so you can see how pretty it is if you just emboss a colored, a piece of cardstock that has color on it. It just makes the design for you. This was from the Painted Seasons stamp set that was with the celebration. This was the same, and I just used I wanted to use the dies from, what was that? Well Said stamp set, and Well Written was the frameless set with that, which I love that too. This was the same thing, Painted Seasons. I just did it all in Stamping Off with Highland Heather. This ribbon is Grapefruit Grove, and this little note sentiment is from Butterfly Gala, I think, if I got that right. So you can see I have been working pretty hard on these, because it's just so, it comes out different every time. So let's just start with one, a nice easy one. So I'm just going to put my paper in there. Oh, I have my wrong plates here. Okay. And since this is the dynamic embossing folders, I only use one plate because they are so thick that you can't really get the two plates through it. So I'm just going to send that through my Big Shot. And we can get busy on that. So look how pretty that comes out every single time. I mean, this just is screaming wedding card, just all by itself. This on Whisper White with a little silver or gold trim is just gorgeous. So let's just try this one first. This is fairly easy, and all I did was use my sponge dauber after the fact. So, and I use these little ones. I do label them only so that they don't transfer the ink, and I can just use a different color, a different dauber for each color, because and I don't have to go around making sure that I clean them really well, because this is just much easier. So see how that just brings out the depth of that color and of that flower? It's just gorgeous. I'm so happy that these are going to be carried over, and that we'll have a whole year of use out of them. It's not often that things from the celebration catalog do get carried over, but the really popular items do. So look how pretty. That's all. That is all that it takes for that. And let's see, I could do a little bit of Calypso coral, but you get the idea. And I do believe that this item and that we know for sure are being carried over is the tea time framelets, which I don't have, but because I'm not a tea drinker, but everybody loves those. So Okay, you get the idea. And this is, you can see how simple this is. So you just put it on, you know, on a card base of either the pool party or the Calypso coral, and you can do as much as you want. This was a very subtle kind of colors that I used for this one, and do the same thing with bold colors if that's what you like. If that's what floats your boat, that's what you need to do. So you can see how simple. And if you wanted to do the inside, either the dots or just to get rid of all the white, then you could just take a Q-tip and just fill that in instead of using the daubers. It just gives you a little bit of a more defined area to work in. Okay, so let's move on. So let's try this one here where we're going to put the ink, since I already have this out, and I'm going to use my brayer, and again I'm going to do the inside, which is this side here. You can just feel it, you can feel the indents, and I do clean these out. I usually run them under the sink with soapy water, but I'm not going to do that today, so let's just hope that it doesn't transfer over. I'm going to just use a baby wipe and see how that works. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now remember, this is very subtle. This is a very light color anyway, so it's not going to have a whole big impact until you do something with it. So when I put my cards in, my cardstock in after I have already inked up the inside, I would always do the side that doesn't have the ink. So, I mean, this doesn't matter too much, but usually I want to make sure that it's pretty straight. Okay, so I'm going to send that through again. It's right over here. And you can see how pretty that looks. Put that out of the way for now. Can you see that? It has a little tiny bit of the pool party just poking out there. So what I'm going to do is take my dauber back again and just highlight. Again, you could use a different color. I'm kind of boring when it comes to that. I like to have 1 or 2 colors max in my designs. My kids say that I'm boring, but it's just what I like. Nice and simple. So you can just do whichever ones you want to pop up, and that's the idea. But you can see it in the background too. Yep, I think you can see that. And then I forgot my pool party marker, but so then I would just go back and just drop a little bit of ink on to some of the dots or all the dots, however you want to do that. Okay, doesn't that look pretty? Ah, love it. All right, so we have those done. Now let's try it with, I'm going to get a new brayer because I don't want to mess that one up. And so this one, we're going to try, let me clean this off. I'll just use a wipe for now, but to be sure, just to be safe, I would always give it a nice wash with some soapy water. All right, so now let's do it with the Calypso coral, because I have that out. And so this time I'm going to not do the recessed side, I'm going to do the side that kind of bubbles out, that you can actually feel the texture on there. And that one I just kind of had a leftover scrap paper, which works fine. You don't have to cover the whole thing. You can make the design, cut it down to however you want to. I'll give it one more. Okay, let's see how that looks. Again, I'm going to go on this side so that I can place it pretty straight. Okay. crooked. Oh, look how pretty that is, right? Oh, I love it. So if I wanted to, I could come back and do more. I could just leave it like that. I have my Calypso coral ribbon. I'm just waiting to actually finish these card fronts. But for right now, I'd just like to fill in just the big ones, or just so you can get the idea. Isn't that pretty? It's different, and different is good. Even though it's just one color, same color, but it's just beautiful. And you could use a scalloped, layering scallop, or oval, to do your sentiment on that, and that looks great too. Okay, so last but not least, and I think this was my second favorite, other than the one with the gray, the Smoky Slate. And so, like, I'll just show you what I did with that. I'm not going to do it, but I just took my ink pad and literally just slid it up and down onto the this side, the recessed side of it. And that's how you get the background to have the color and the roses and the flowers just pop right out with the white. And you could go back and you could use your sponge dauber on those too. Nobody's telling you you can't do that, but I liked it like that way. All right, so I'm going to clean this out, and we can do one more. To be honest with you, this was not even the top of my list when the second edition came out. I was really like, oh, all right, it's another embossing folder. But, oh, so this one, but now as you can see, I really fell in love with it. So happy that it's going to be around for a while. All right, so for this one, I took which way am I going? I took the inside, the recessed side, because you can put your finger right in there, and my Night of Navy, all I did was used my sponge dauber just in the areas that I wanted to highlight. So of course that was that nice big flower right in the middle. This little guy on the end. And I think there was another one up in the corner here. And there we go. Pretty, right? That looks nice just like that. Okay, let's do this one last one. Again, putting it on this side. I want to make sure I get those little guys up on top, so I'm going to bring this a little bit further up than I normally do. Okay. Everything's shaking. Ooh, another beauty. Look how pretty. Now, there's really not much more you need to do to that. I did a little bit with my blends. I did a little, I think I just used the thin side. This is the soft sea foam, and I just did the leaves a little. And you don't even have to go all the way on the outside, because it is going to bleed a little bit, and it's going to fill that in. Now, when I did my, this is the Daffodil Delight, it did bleed a little because the blue was over the top. So I would just be a little careful of what you want. I mean, it just might change the color a little bit, like you can see in here, where my green goes over the blue, but still, it still has a beautiful effect, and I do like that little fuzziness around it. So I'm going to add a little bit of that yellow to that Daffodil Delight. It might turn a little green on me, but It's okay. Yeah, it's still yellow. I can still see it. So I'm happy with that. And then really didn't transfer much on this either, so we're good. Beautiful, right? Just want to show you that the one, sorry about that, the one little drips I did with the Night of Navy. I think I used the light, but can you see this here? I just want to show you how I just, see how it just, the color just fills it in. So there's no mess up. There's nothing that you can do wrong here, even for the smaller ones. One dab and it will just fill and make that little dot pop. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. I hope you give it a try. You can earn this $50. You spend $50 and this is still available. We have a few more weeks left of celebration where you can get it for free. So I hope you give it a try. Give one of these options a try, and when you're making your cards, or you can just do pretty much just simply run a piece of cardstock through and it just comes out beautiful every time. So there's so much to do with it. I hope you take a chance and you get it while it's still available. I know that we're down to the wire here and we are losing a lot of items that are not going to be restocked, but we're safe with this one. So this is a good item to purchase. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can give me a thumbs up down below if you did enjoy it, and maybe consider subscribing to my channel so this way you'll get to see all my new videos. I will have a list of the products that I used for today's video down in the description below, and you can shop with me anytime at lollipoppaperandink.stampinup.net. Thanks again for stopping by today. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.